AV friends had to tell me, you know, it usually works better if you turn the microphone on. Who knew? Who knew? Welcome to the River Road Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I am Reverend Connie Simon, your interim minister and your worship associate today. If this is your first time here in person, welcome. If this is your first time back in a while, welcome back. If you are unfamiliar with River Road and you want to learn more about us and what we do here, please stop by the welcome table on your way out or just at any point and we can help you get connected. Good morning, YouTube folks. If you're watching on YouTube live right now, please feel free to join in on the online chat. If you're watching this at some time later and you have questions, visit our website to learn how to connect with us. I want to share with you a couple of announcements. Now, the first one is really important. They're both really, really important, but this one is really important. As you know, we are switching to a new church database. It's actually called a Church Management Program, CMP. It is called Realm. Now, many of you have been asking our new Director of Congregational Life, Adrian Graham, how do I start a group? I want to do a thing. I want to get involved. And we've been saying, there will be time, there will be time. We need to have the infrastructure to do that. That's what Realm is. So this week, on October 1st, you're going to receive an email that will be your invitation to Realm. Please, please, please open the email, follow the instructions to set up your profile, because that's how we're going to communicate with you. That's how all of our groups will be managed. That's where you can put in your email address, your cell phone, your whatever it is. Or if you don't want people to be able to contact you, that's where you can turn things off, make things private. All of the things happen in Realm. We're asking that you do this when you get the email. There will be little videos in the email that comes out that kind of explain how to make things work. We've even set up an email address, a special email address for when you have questions. And I'm not going to share it now because I know you all and you'll start sending emails today. And we want to wait until the 1st. Next Sunday, on the 5th, we will have a help desk with live bodies, people and computers to help you set up your profile if you are still having questions. So when's the email coming? What are you going to do with it? Okay, it's really, really important because that's how we're going to invite you to the meals and the groups and do all the things. The second announcement that I have for you concerns Wellspring. If you have not already signed up to be part of UU Wellspring, please do so. This is a spiritual small group. This year we have space for many more. We have many more open spaces. Only 3 people have signed up so far. If we don't get more signups, unfortunately, we'll need to cancel the program. So if this is something you're interested in and you've just been putting it off, now's the time to sign up for it. Okay? Now I'd like to invite Ann Bradley to come forward with a message from your search committee and Susan Messina. Hold on, let me get out of her way.
Morning. So yes, I'm Ann Bradley, and this is Susan Messina. We're members of the Ministerial Search Committee. We want to thank everybody from the bottom of our hearts who has filled out our congregational survey, people in the room, people online. We've gotten a really good response. However, it's still open, so if anybody hasn't yet done this, there's still time. It's going to be open until midnight. And why is this important? The results are going to be used to help craft a profile of River Road for our prospective settled ministers. So where is this? You can find it's an online survey. It's in your email inbox. It's in the e-weekly, and it's on the website under the search committee's banner. And if you prefer to fill it out on paper, Susan has printed it out and will be in the fellowship hall today. And it's anonymous, so you can do that. Just give it to her. She'll put the data in. We're just trying to make a last push. We want to hear from as many people as possible. Every voice counts, so make sure that yours is heard. Thank you so much.
We begin our time together by lighting our chalice, the chosen symbol of our faith, with these words by Rebecca Savage. We gathered together today with sacred intention to declare that justice is our prayer. We affirm in covenant that with the beloved community that is possible. Not here, not quite yet. The seeds have been planted time and again, and we remember all those who went before us, who made beloved community a dream that could be realized.
Justice is our prayer. May our time of worship together continue to water the budding trees of our diverse interdependence. May our time of worship give air and nourishment to the parts of our collective spirits that need to grow and thrive, that embrace equity as a known way of being. Justice is our prayer.
We affirm in covenant with the beloved community that is possible. May it be so. Let us worship together.
Please rise now in body or spirit as you are willing and able, and let's sing our opening hymn, number 1028, The Fire of Commitment. Are you energized? That's one that takes your breath away, doesn't it? All right. We have a special video prophetic voices for you this morning from Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Maybe.
Today's read aloud is Just Help by Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. With bold and vibrant illustrations by Angela Dominguez, this book encourages us to build a better world by being great helpers. Okay, let's get started. Each day when Sonia woke up, her mother asked her a question. How will you help today? Mommy was a nurse who helped people at a hospital every day. Sonia wanted to help too. So each morning, Sonia set about to have a good answer for Mommy's question. One morning, Sonia knew just how she was going to help that day. She filled 2 shopping bags with candy bars, warm socks, nice soaps, sunglasses, pens, and notepads. When Sonia boarded the school bus, the driver helped her carry her bags up the steps. What's all this? She asked Sonia. We're sending care packages to American soldiers overseas, Sonia said. When Sonia got on the bus, not one seat was free. She did not know what to do. Then Booker and Sky waved to her. You can sit with us, they said, squeezing together to make room for Sonia. Thank you, Sonia said. At school, Booker, Sky, and Sonia emptied their bags onto a table in the gym. Many kids had shown up to help. For this service project, the kids sorted and packed the treats in boxes that postal workers would pick up later in the day. Kylie was extra happy to help. Her mom was a soldier in the army, stationed far away. Kylie missed her every day, but it made her smile to think of her mom opening one of the care packages. When she was done, Kylie gathered up plastic bags and gave them to Brooklyn. Brooklyn loved underwater animals. She was upset to learn that plastic bags humans dumped into the oceans made sea turtles sick. When she read about a worldwide campaign to save the sea turtles, Brooklyn joined in to help. She started a recycling program at school just for plastic bags. After the service project in the gym, she had a lot more bags to add to the new recycling bins. After school, Gabriella and her brother Lucas went to the playground. There was trash everywhere. Gabriella thought about the recycling bins. Let's make today a park cleanup day, Gabriella suggested to the other kids. They all agreed to help. Afterward, Lucas took a piece of chalk and wrote in big letters on the ground, "Keep our park clean. Please do not litter." When Jasper got home, he saw that his room was a mess, just like the park had been. As he cleaned up, he found brand new toys that he had never used. Jasper decided to donate them to the Children's Hospital. Jasper remembered that when he was a patient there, he always felt better when the nurses brought him to the playroom. He wanted to help kids who were there now. He brought the new toys next door to Maya because her dad worked as a janitor at the hospital, and he could take the toys to the playroom. Jasper's kindness reminded Maya that she had something special to give away too. She picked out her favorite shirt from her clothes drawer. Maya loved it, but she knew someone who would love it more, especially today, her friend Simone. Simone stood on the street corner with her dad and her brother Miles. It was election day, and they were campaigning for their favorite candidate for city council, who promised to build more schools and playgrounds. When Maya gave Simone the shirt, Simone was thrilled. "It's just like a sparkly American flag." "Thank you," Simone said. and put it on over the shirt she was already wearing. Simone and Miles were handing out flyers to everyone who passed by, including Samir and his mom. "Mommy, it's election day. Did you vote yet?" Samir asks. "No, I forgot," his mom said. "Well, let's go vote," Samir said. "My teacher said your vote is your voice in the community." Samir wanted his mom to use it. The voting booths were set up in the senior center. As Samir and his mom waited to vote, they saw Kunal pushing John in a wheelchair. Kunal was there to help John vote. John lived alone, and twice a week, Kunal spent the afternoon at the senior center visiting John and sharing snacks. "Promise me when you're 18, you will vote," John said as he stuck his "I voted" sticker on Kunal's shirt. "When I was young, I was part of a great struggle to get the right to vote. Now I never miss the chance. I promise," Kunal said. Later that evening, Sonia climbed into bed and her mother asked her, "Sonia, how did you help today?" Sonia thought about the service project for the soldiers, recycling the plastic bags, cleaning up the playground, and voting with Mommy. But she also remembered the bus driver who brought her to school safely, the postal workers who delivered the packages to the soldiers, the poll workers who guided voters, and her friends who helped in big ways and small. "We all helped each other today," Sonia said. As Sonia closed her eyes, she imagined that everything she did was like the yarn in the blanket her grandmother had made for her. It tied Sonia to everyone around her, even people she did not know, each one inspiring the next, knitting together a community that was safer, cleaner, wiser, healthier, and kinder. Like Sonia, her friends, and her neighbors, when we all do our part, we all can have a good answer to Mommy's question. How will you help today?
And with that, I'd like to invite our children and youth to go off to their classes. Middle school, up the steps, young ones downstairs, and youth group across the bridge. Have fun, everybody. Go learn things. This week, I've spent more time watching the news than I usually do. More time watching speeches at the United Nations. And honestly, being dumbfounded, shocked, discouraged, encouraged by some of them, just feeling all the feels. And then listening to other elected officials in local and state offices and just thinking, oh my goodness, this world. So this isn't the real thing I want to talk about before we get to joys and sorrows, but I did want to share this little prayer. It's from the Book of Tiny Prayer by Micah Busey. And this is called the Prayer for Elected Officials. May you care more about humans than attention, more about lives than markets. May you admit what you don't know and own up to what you do know. And may you remember that current reality must be faced in order to truly shape a future. Amen. I needed to say that. I needed to say that. So I'm going to invite you all right now into a moment of reflection, a moment of centering and grounding, and give you an opportunity to speak into the room the joys and sorrows that you have been holding on to this week. Speak them aloud. For all we've named, for all that we just don't have words for, and for all the things that we are guarding carefully in our hearts, let's pause now for a moment of silent meditation, reflection, and prayer, after which we'll sing, "Comfort Me." In support of our congregation and the community beyond, the morning offering will now be gratefully received. We do so mindful of the fact that we draw water from wells we did not dig and pick fruit from plants we did not plant, from trees we did not plant, and that this is as it should be, so long as we dig and plant for those who come after. If this is your first time visiting, please feel free to let the basket pass you by. Your presence is your gift to us this morning. To learn more about why we give of our financial treasure, you can check out our website at rruuc.org. There you can find information on our vibrant programming and all the ways to connect to the mission and vision of this community. You can also give right there on the main page by clicking the blue Give Online button. You can also text to give. The text to give number is 73256. So text RRUUC and the amount you'd like to give to the number 73256. You'll receive a link to complete your donation. Thank you for sharing your time, your talents, and your treasures. As we gather today in this sacred space of seeking and questioning, we find ourselves at a confluence of moments that calls us to deeper reflection and purposeful action. We're in the midst of the Jewish High Holy Days, a time of introspection, repentance, and renewal that reminds us of our interconnectedness across faith traditions and our shared commitment to justice and healing in this world. In these days of Rosh Hashanah and the approach of Yom Kippur, our Jewish neighbors engage in Cheshbon kan nefesh, an accounting of the soul. This practice of honest self-engagement and self-examination resonates deeply within our UU commitment to transformation, both personal and collective. We too are called to examine how we have fallen short of our highest aspirations and how we might grow into more faithful expressions of love and justice. Today, we face challenges that test the very foundations of our democratic values and our commitment to the inherent worth and dignity of every person. In a time when authoritarian impulses threaten the pluralism that has long been a cornerstone of our nation and our faith, we are called to respond not with despair, but with the generosity of spirit that opens us to genuine encounter with one another. This is why we are so grateful to welcome our guests this morning, Cynthia Marshall and Pilar Gordon from Action in Montgomery. They come to us today not as folks with easy answers, but as folks who understand that our response to troubling times must be rooted in relationship. In a world increasingly divided by fear and misunderstanding, they will speak to us about the radical act of real conversation, the kind that requires us to show up fully present to one another, to listen with the ears of our hearts, and to trust in the transformative power of authentic human connection. Our UU principles call us to equity and compassion, to the recognition that we are all part of an interdependent web of existence. These principles echo the words of our spiritual ancestor, Theodore Parker, who proclaimed that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. Yet Parker also knew that that arc doesn't bend on its own. It requires our hands, our voices, and our willingness to engage. We draw strength from our theological heritage that has always insisted on the radical dignity of every being. Our Universalist forebears proclaimed that love is the ultimate power in the universe, a revolutionary message that challenged the orthodoxies of their time. And our Unitarian ancestors championed reason and conscience over blind authority, insisting that each person has the capacity for moral discernment and the responsibility to act upon it. These aren't merely beautiful words to hang on our walls, but living commitments that demand we engage with the world as it is, while working toward the world that we know is possible. When we speak of justice, we speak not of abstract ideals, but of concrete actions that flow from love made manifest. The workshop that will follow our service today, that AIM will present, offers us a practical pathway for living these values, for continuing a tradition that stretches back to our earliest gatherings. From the parlor meetings of 19th century transcendentalists to the freedom riders of our more recent past, Unitarian Universalists have understood that social change emerges from authentic relationship and moral conversation. James Luther Adams reminded us that we are called to be prophetic pragmatists, grounded in hope, but committed to the practical work of justice. In learning how to have meaningful one-on-one conversations, we prepare ourselves to be agents of healing in this fractured world. We acknowledge that transformation begins not in the halls of power, but in the quiet moments when two people dare to see each other fully and speak their truth with courage and compassion. As we listen together to our speakers this morning, let us open our hearts to the possibility that our individual conversations can weave together into a larger tapestry of justice. Let us remember that in every authentic encounter, we practice the beloved community that is both our deepest hope and our most sacred calling. In this time of reflection and renewal, guided by the wisdom of multiple traditions and grounded in love, we prepare to listen, to learn, and to be transformed. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Reverend Connie. It is wonderful to be here this morning with River Road. I bring greetings from Columbia Unitarian Universalist, where I am a member. And it has been my great honor and privilege to work with many people who are here today, many River Roaders over the years, to create real, tangible change that affects people's day-to-day lives. I'm going to give a very brief overview of what AIM is for those of you who are unfamiliar, and then Pilar is going to share more examples of how it is that we do this work. So if we could start the slideshow. So AIM works to create more justice, to create positive change in people's day-to-day lives by building relationships and building relational power across different faiths, different racial, socioeconomic backgrounds, and to come together around the things that we can agree on. And then focusing with persistence and consistence that organized people power to build that change. So we've won $1.5 billion for affordable housing over the past 25 years. We've won the complete renovation of 4 community centers in historic African American neighborhoods, quality after-school programming in 18 Title I or high poverty elementary schools, and many, many other victories on the hyper-local level, from a sidewalk so that low-income folks living in subsidized housing could walk to the bus, to these much larger victories. So the way we do this is we start by doing listening. So we listen in small groups, we do one-on-ones with people, and you can forward the slides. Go, please. So we do listening. We are launching a listening campaign, and as part of the one-on-ones that we're going to teach about after worship today, we are doing listening here and in other communities. Please forward the slides. And then we take those meetings, we figure out what our people's agenda is, and then we gather together to put pressure on our elected officials to really address these issues, and not in a broad way, but in very specific ways. To put more money into affordable housing, to specifically improve the way that we distribute environmental funding so that there are upgrades to low-income households as well as higher-income households, and to also create more emphasis on addressing climate change at the local and statewide level. So this is 750 of us just last year at St. John the Evangelist Roman Catholic Church. Forward again, please. And you can forward again. These are a couple of slides. Just a few weeks ago, we met with the governor around housing, and he and his staff recognized that we are one of the most diverse groups that consistently show up in person with elected officials to push for our agenda, and specifically around housing. So he and his Secretary of Housing have committed to work with us to address housing at the state and local level. And you can forward it again. And this is just another of pictures of us. So this is a group of really interesting people from all different backgrounds coming together and being very strategic and focused about how we use our collective power, and you can be involved in AIM in all sorts of ways. Coming once or twice a year to one of our big actions, that matters. Coming, being part of an action team, that matters. Leading in the organization and helping us to have a better nonprofit, that matters. All of these things matter. And I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Pilar, now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Pilar Olmedo Gordon, and I am originally from Ecuador. I am a mother of 2 beautiful boys. And also, I've been organizing with Action Montgomery for 3 years. And this work, oh boy, like it has been expanded my horizons and opened my mind in a way that I never knew that I could. But one of the things that I value the most about Action Montgomery is its focus on leadership. We don't just seek change, we prepare people to lead this change. At the end of each campaign, believe me, people themselves are transformed. We build relationships across different backgrounds, faiths, and communities. The leadership skills learned through AIM are not just for this work, but they are truly for life. And in my personal experience, this job have helped me help people to find their voice, but in this process, I found my own voice. And also my own talents. Believe me, guys, I wouldn't be here like 3 years before. Yeah. But mostly, it gives me hope. We are setting an example and building leaders for the next generation. So our children inherit not only a fairer world, but also the courage to continue God's work. Working with congregations and immigrant communities is similar, but sometimes it's different, right? But there are similarities between these two groups. And these are like some of us, we haven't spoken in public before, so this work is going to push us to do this. Meeting with elected officials, as you saw in the presentation, going to the Senate or the House of Delegates, informing our own communities or congregations about the work that we are doing. This is something that we are going to learn in this job. And us, we are going to be supporting you all the way. As Cynthia mentioned, AIM has been organizing faith congregations for 25 years, and several years ago, it expanded its work to include parents from Title I elementary schools. We began with South Lake Elementary and Burns Mill Elementary School, and out of this organizing, Excel Beyond the Bell was created. This is the first high-quality after-school program for Title I schools. This looked like very almost impossible dream, but it came a reality in 2016. Imagine this, your child can receive 1 hour of academic reinforcement, receives 1 hour of recreation led by a specialist, 1 warm meal, and also transportation to go to the school to your house, while you can work, and all of that for free. I see many children that they left, and I am myself a mother, so you know how expensive these after-school activities are. And it's not like we created from nothing. This already existed. But now those children, they had the opportunity to do it. And we are talking about Title I schools where many parents are working blue-collar or minimum wage jobs, and paying for this opportunity sometimes is impossible. And now, imagine being an immigrant parent like myself, with limited English and sometimes limited education background too. How do you support your child's education under these circumstances? This is why we created this program, to make it possible for all of the children to receive the tools they deserve to thrive and succeed like the rest of the other children. Today, Excel Beyond the Bell is in 18 Title I schools around Montgomery County, and last year we were 16, and last year you included very hard for earn 2 more schools. So we are in total 18 schools. Organizing parents from South Lake and Burns Mill help families recognize the power of coming together to fight for what matters the most, their children's future and their community. For years, both schools endured rook leaks, pest infestations, and failing HVAC systems that often left the classrooms without heat during the winter and without air conditioner during the summer. But the parents, they learn that they have the power. And together with River Road and all of the congregations with AIM, in 2 years of organizing. But last year, they have a new school, and now the children, they are going to a new brand school, thanks to the work that you do. And also, on September 18th, this past 2 weeks, we launched our listening sessions, campaigns, and one of the most moving moments was seeing over 30 teenagers participating in the listening sessions themselves, bravely sharing their stories and dreams and ready to take action. Why? Because they have seen their parents organizing, speaking out, and working for their community. They are following already that example of courage, showing us that the future is not in the future, it's already here. Together, we are not only fighting for a more just world, but we are raising leaders for the next generation, and this is how we transform the communities. Thank you.
have been a community organizer since 2006. The political climate of 2025 has led me to a significant period of existential crisis. Despite having spent many years of my life dedicated to creating positive social change, I've been left uncertain with what to do with this political moment. How to address the shutdown and destruction of important government institutions that provide healing, education, safety, and well-being, or the random and capricious arrest and deportation of undocumented but peaceful and fully contributing members of our society at immeasurable cost to their families and the community that we are seeing at AIM firsthand. And those are just two examples. I went through a period of feeling unmoored and of deep grief that has not entirely gone away. We cannot ignore our sadness, disappointment, and anger, and we need to find productive ways to feel and experience this grief together. The reality is, however, that this political moment is the culmination of a deeply strategic and well-funded organizing project starting in the 1980s or before to seed and develop leaders at the most hyper-local level on school boards and county seats. There is also really smart work to engage groups of connected people like homeschoolers or the NRA to join a specific party. Unfortunately, this moment has been immeasurably aided by the polarization on the left and right through social media, much of which has been fueled by international interference and non-human bots. And if you think you have been unsusceptible or immune, I strongly encourage you to read the first chapter of The Persuaders by Anand Giridharadas. I was shocked by how much I have been manipulated. Because of the years and years of planning and organizing it took to get to this moment and the larger social forces at work, I don't think there is a grand answer for how to quickly stop the current political momentum as much as I wish there was. And if you do, please let me know so we can get started. But this is why I deeply appreciated the questions that centered this year's UU General Conference. What is the moment that we are in? What are the most urgent needs and important opportunities of this moment? And finally, what do our shared values call us to do in response to this moment? More specifically, what are we most compelled, equipped, and/or positioned to do? The last question got me because it is very connected to one of our primary tools as organizers, power analysis. If we are to rebuild our democracy or to maintain and grow current strongholds of participatory democracy, I believe we have a lot of work to do at the local and statewide level. And I invite you to engage with us at AIM in doing them. The first is our most fundamental and central practice of listening sessions and one-to-one relational meetings that Reverend Connie spoke about. We spend time with other people, often from other faiths, backgrounds, and traditions, and share what we care about, what drives and motivates us, what we could dream of doing. In most of these meetings, I leave feeling more hopeful than when I started. It helps me clarify what I'm about, and it helps me understand where other people are. It puts life onto a human scale and forces me to have humility. I cannot express how much it also helps me to build a team of co-conspirators. And I think that's the most important thing we can be doing right now, is building more teams of co-conspirators who want to work together to make our community, our county, and our state better. As Pilar shared, another way that we work together in AIM is to work on specific issue specific issues. So whether that's quality after-school programs or affordable housing or climate justice, we come up with very specific strategic plans for how to make a difference that can be measured with numbers of how many more people have a new service, how much less carbon dioxide is going into the air, or how we are improving the health of people's lives. And as a UU, I know that by working together, all of us across these different faiths, we're going to get much farther than we will as one faith or one set of people. So we are doing these issue action teams and working both at the local and state level. And as Pilar talked about, we are starting to do listening now to figure out what our agenda is going to be coming up. We are also working on building statewide power. This moment has created a crisis for many organizations like us, unions. The Episcopal Archdiocese has approached us and asked us to train all of their priests and deacons. And so there's ways that we can start relating on a statewide level. I'm curious about how we can do that with the UUs as well. But being able to create statewide connections and hold future governors, hold future statewide officials to a people's agenda is another way that we can build Maryland into a state that has very participatory democracy and is looking at the issues that are really affecting people's day-to-day lives. I think one of the biggest threats to building our democracy and democratic institutions is the polarization of our local elections around national issues. We need to look long and hard at what our local officials actually have the power to act on. They have the power to act on whether or not someone can afford to live in this county. They have the power to act on the quality of life of people's day-to-day lives. And we need to be listening hard to what specifically they are going to do on those items, much more than their brilliant rhetoric about what's happening on the statewide level. And are they willing to listen to people, have the humility to work with people, and listen to people in the community? So one of the proudest moments I've had over this past year was listening to all of the commitments at the action on September 18th. Person after person after person came up and said, in my congregation, we're going to listen to 50 people. In my union, we're going to listen to 120 people. In my school, we're going to listen to 250 people. And after everyone went up and made their specific commitment, we had commitments to listen to 3,515 people in Maryland. And when I tell people that number, they are deeply impressed. Whether it's a statewide union or an organizing group, they are surprised that we can listen to that many people. So we have something important to share and to act on once we listen to all of those people. So we are going to listen to people, we are going to identify issues, and we are also going to identify groups of co-conspirators who want to make this community, this county, and this state a better place. I recently listened to an interview with the governor of Utah. It was with Ezra Klein, and I highly recommend it. He said that he has given countless speeches at commencements and other places urging people, especially young adults, to go out and change the world. And then he said he now regrets giving that advice. Very few of us change the world, and none of us do it alone. He said that instead what he would advise people is make your community a good place. So I invite you all to join us in building those relationships in the community, in building understanding across difference, and figuring out the ways that we can come together, work together, and create the political power and will to make sure people live high-quality lives that are meaningful and where they have both bread the things that they need, and roses, joy, and delight in their lives. AIM is not the only place to do that, but I invite each of you to join AIM this year and in the future to do that. Thank you.
Thank you to Cynthia and to Pilar for sharing that wonderful message with us today. Please rise in body or spirit as you're willing and able, and let's sing the first 2 verses of our closing hymn, We'll Build a Land. Please be seated. Our UU principles and values call us to live our values aloud, not alone, and encourage us to be open-minded, open-hearted spiritual communities, helping people lead lives of justice, love, learning, and hope. Here are some ways you can live your values in the coming weeks. Support AIM. That one's easy, right? Attend the workshop. Register for the conversations if you haven't already done that. I don't know how many spaces are left, but please register. Be mindful of the video we saw. Think of ways that you can help. What can you do? What small thing can you do? I know one thing you could do, and that's to volunteer for the bazaar. It's that time again, folks. The bazaar is November the 15th. And yes, the bazaar does raise funds for the congregation. It supports the work we do. It supports us in our efforts to support AIM. It supports providing worship services and having this space for us to be together. And it's an opportunity for you to serve the community, to give back, to create a space for the greater community to come in and buy things they need, and to be together with others here. It's also an awesome opportunity for you to get to know more people here at River Road. If you're new, you don't know anybody, you want to get involved, volunteer for the bazaar. You can get one task for one day, and then you're done. It's not an ongoing, have to come to a committee every month kind of thing. If you are interested in volunteering for the bazaar, being engaged, please visit the fellowship hall. During coffee hour, there'll be a table there for the bazaar. For those who are new and don't know what we're talking about when we say coffee hour, it's in our fellowship hall. If you go out these doors across the glass bridge, you hear us talk about the bridge, there's a fellowship room back there, and there will be coffee and tea and treats and conversation. So please sign up to do something, do some kind of work. We close our time of worship by extinguishing our chalice with these words by Elizabeth Sell Jones. Together we say aloud, is it up there? Yes. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Providing wonderful music this morning. We love it when you are here. Friends, keep your hearts open, keep your ears open, and go in peace. Blessings.